What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. This is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work way up through the ranks and through the teams, and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. Currently in the F1 2010 season, we have done 9 rounds, and we're on 57.7th in the standings, which is absolutely amazing, seeing as we are driving for Virgin Racing. So that is incredible. We've got 57 points on board at this stage of the season, 7th in the tables. That at the moment means that we will be driving for Lotus in F1 2011, but we will be hoping to try and maybe get a top 4 to 6 finish. That means that we get a Williams drive for F1 2011. We're just going to have to wait and see how the rest of the season pans out. But up next is, of course, my home Grand Prix. It is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, a track which I'm not too sure how well I am going to be doing here today, because it's got fast corners, and we tend to struggle at circuits which have fast corners on the pad. We'll wait and see. Hopefully we can get a result here today, but just remember, we are a back market team, so we've got to be a little bit cautious and maybe not hope for too much in today's race. But without any further ado, let's head over to my home race. It is, of course, the British Grand Prix. Okay, the rain has started to come out on track, but they said it was good enough for dries at the start of the session. So we're taking a little bit of a gamble here in our one-shot qualifying session, starting our lap on the dry tyres and hoping that this pays off. It's going to be raining and carrying on throughout the session, I believe. So that means the rain is going to get worse. So hopefully we've got enough and we've set our time at the perfect sort of, time of the session, that we can use these dry tyres to our advantage and still be able to set a good lap time. Oh, that was a bit of a struggle through Chapel there. But we've got our teammate Lucas de Grassi. Please don't hold me up, mate. Please don't hold me up. You are. You're going to be right in my braking zone, aren't you? Okay, you're not too bad. I'm just not very good through this corner anyway. Oh, he's gone off the track. You love that from de Grassi. Nice one, pal. Right, through the final corner then of this one-shot qualifying. Right, down towards the line. What is the time going to be good enough for? I'm not too sure whereabouts it is going to put us in amongst the rest of the field. But it's a 138.134. It's not too bad at the moment. We're going to head back to the garage and see how the session goes on. If the rain worsens and that lap time it still isn't good enough, we may try and go on for wet tyres and do one lap there. Or if it does get better, we'll go for one lap in full dry conditions and sort of forget what happened on this lap. But let's head back to the garage and see what happens in this session. 11th place. 11th place at the British Grand Prix. How on earth have we done that? We set our lap time on dry tyres on a wet track, and all the AI did exactly the same thing. They were running at the same time as me. They went dry tyres as well. So it wasn't because they were on wet. So I am really not too sure what has gone on there. Looks like the track was wet, but it wasn't wet enough for intermediates or full wet. Sebastian Vettel absolutely smashed the qualifying here today, beating Jenson Button by 0.8 of a second. And then Mark Webber was 1 second behind him, and Lewis Hamilton was 1.7 seconds off the pace. Then Michael Schumacher, 5th on the grid, 2 seconds off the pace. So, looks like the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel is going to go well here today. But 11th place in qualifying. What a result for myself. Beating the Force Indias, beating the Saubers, the Toro Rossos, the Williams, and of course all of the back markers, including my teammate Lucas de Grassi. What a lap that is, and hopefully we can convert that into a points position in the race. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But let's head over to the race for the British Grand Prix. It's race day here at the British Grand Prix. A 35% chance of rain. It won't be coming down right at the start, so we don't have to worry about that. But we are going to go for our usual tactic, starting on the prime tyres, pitting for the options later on in the race. They want us to pit at the moment on lap 7 out of this 10-lap race. That's fine with me. Don't feel there's anything else to talk about. If these primes last long enough, they may be able to go to an intermediate period, and we may be able to completely skip out a pit stop, but we'll just have to wait and see whether the rain comes down heavily enough at the end of the Grand Prix. So, nothing else to talk about. Let's head down to the track and see what we can do in today's race. So then, Sebastian Vettel lines up in pole position for the British Grand Prix. Jenson Button lining up alongside him in second. I had a pretty decent qualifying session in 11th place with Lucas de Grassi, my teammate, in 23rd. So here we go then, the start of my home race, the British Grand Prix, starting from 11th on the grid as the lights come on It's lights out, and away we go for the British Grand Prix. Trying to put my engine up into fast mix, and away we go. Right, we need a good turn one, which it looks like we've had compared to Vitaly Petrov. There we go, moving above our rival at the moment in this season. Felipe Massa is up next in P9. We need to be careful through Magus and Beckett. We don't want to lose the car through these couple of corners. We just want to take it steadily and then try and pounce on Felipe Massa later on in the lap. Looks like those guys haven't had the best alliance, but we're doing okay for the start of this race. Jeff giving us motivation to try and go for the overtake on Felipe Massa. We're going to be patient. We're not going to rush anything. We aren't particularly... Oh my god! What on earth are you doing? Why have we got to force India crashing into me? What an absolute imbecile. Who is that? Luizzi. Finn Antonio Luizzi. What on earth are you doing? No wonder you'll be driving for HRT next season, mate. Go away. Get off my car. Leave me alone. Oh, and I've smashed him. And I've smashed myself off the track. That wasn't good. Oh, well. I don't really care. Luizzi, that's what you get for diving it up the inside and crashing into me. What an absolute moron. Right, we need to find that pace that we had in qualifying, because we're struggling quite a bit at the moment against Felipe Massa, and we need to try and get him back. Felipe Massa is absolutely gone in this race at this stage. We are struggling big time through the high-speed corners. I guess it was because we set our lap time right at the start of the qualifying session, which really, really helped us, but I'm struggling big time. I'm struggling with braking points, stuff like that. I had a perfect qualifying lap, and now, nothing. Absolutely nothing in the tank. But we're still in P10, so we don't need to get disheartened about it. We're still in P10. We're still in a points-paying position. And that was pretty good through turn one compared to the AI. Couple of drivers into the pits. Well, I say a couple, it's just the one of Nico Rosberg at the moment. He's into the pits. It looks like he could be doing a two-stopper in today's race. I've completely overshot turn one. Not exactly too good through there. But in towards Max and Beckett's, we are up into P9, which of course is pretty decent. 8 seconds is the gap to Felipe Massa on lap 3 of this race. We are struggling big time at this British Grand Prix. And look, once again, overshooting that corner. Where's my braking point then? I don't know where my braking point is for some of these corners. It's so frustrating. Well, I'm just using my 2016 references, and they do not work on this circuit right now. Oh, yellow flag ahead. Something's happened. Somebody's off the track. It's a Ferrari. It is Felipe Massa. Felipe Massa has had an incident down in towards the final corner. A lot of drivers come into the pits at the moment. They're going to come out ahead of me because, look, Sebastian Vettel has made a pit stop and he has still come out ahead of me. That is how slow we are around this circuit. But we'll see what we can do. We might be able to catch up to Vettel. Maybe have an opportunity to go for the overtake. We'll just have to wait and see. Through Chapel now. Oh, I'm so bad through that corner. Yeah, I'll take the warning for corner cutting. I'll take the warning. That's fine. I knew I wasn't going to make that corner anyway, so it was better. I might as well take the warning instead of, you know, completely just losing loads of positions. Not going to be able to catch up to Sebastian Vettel. They just have the ability to put their foot down midway through the corner, and I just can't do that. I just can't do that at the moment. To be fair, in my defense, I am at the moment keeping up with Sebastian Vettel. I'm not doing too badly compared to the Germans, so that's giving us a little bit of a glimmer of hope that we may be able to salvage something from this race. Unfortunately, the train behind me may have something different to say about that, but a few of them should be filing into the pits very, very soon. No sign of any rain coming down at all. There's a few guys have come into the pits as well. So those guys should come out ahead of me. They're going to be in the battle with Sebastian Vettel in towards Max and Beckett. So those guys are fine. They can battle to their heart's content. I'm not exactly battling for them for position either. So it doesn't bother me at all. Mark Webber, you can stay out ahead of me. Petrov is right behind me still though. Go away. Leave me alone, please. I at least want some points in my home Grand Prix. Can I not have that, please? Again, still managing to keep up with Mark Webber, Sebastian Vettel, and whoever it is in second place. Not too sure. I think it might be a McLaren, but I'm not 100%. But I'm still able to keep up with them. So I'm not doing too badly at this stage of the race. I've set a 1:37, which was better than my qualifying lap time. So maybe when we go on to the option tyres, I may be able to claw back some points. It's just through Max and Beckett's. That's where I'm losing the time. I'm losing so much time to Vitaly Petrov, but I make it up at the end of the lap. Ah, big mistake on the grass there. That's going to allow Petrov and the McLarenov, I believe. I'm not actually too sure who that is. Is it Button or is it Hamilton? I'm not 100% sure, but that's allowed those two to catch up. But we're quite good through those corners, and we've just allowed Petrov to go up the inside. But we're going to squeeze him out on the outside of this corner. Should be able to make it flat out through there. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Holding position at the moment to Vitaly Petrov, who is still not coming to the pits yet, which is a little bit of a surprise. Okay, here we go through the final. What do you mean? Okay, must change for option tyres. I was like, what do you mean? We got a penalty. But just telling us that we need to change for the option tyres. Right. Into the pits we come for our first pit stop in this race. Unfortunately, I feel like we're going to get jumped by both of the drivers behind us, mainly because the Virgin team don't really know how to make a pit stop in this game unless the Renault gets held up. Come on. Go, go, go. Okay, do the tyres. Truly's in. Go, 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 go. Why are you holding me? He was miles behind us. Ah! I hate this game when it comes to pit stops. I'm all the way down in 17th place now. I need to claw my way back because I'm pretty sure everybody else but in front of me has made a pit stop. Oh, it's so damn frustrating. Right then, Vitaly Petrov, I am right on your gearbox. Are we going to go for the overtake? We're going to try it as much as we possibly can, but he's just too quick through that corner. I can't put my foot down, or at least I don't have the confidence in putting my foot down. Otherwise, I feel like the car's just going to snap on me. Or run wide, and I don't want that. I want to be as close to them as I possibly can. Okay, look at that, gaining a lot of time on Vitaly Petrov. Can we go for the move? He's given us the room. We're going to go around the outside of this corner. Give him the room on the inside. Run it wide. Ah, he's got me now, but up the inside again. Turn in. Come on, come on, come on. No, no, no. No! Oh, bloody auto spin curbs. We don't need to look at replay. We saw exactly what happened. Ah, I hate the fucking auto spin curbs. Put me down into bloody 20. How many times this season have we been done over by auto spin curbs? Too many times. Too many damn times. It's so frustrating. Yes, okay, maybe we shouldn't take too much of the curbs, especially when they have sausage curbs like that, as there's another person who's spun it. Looks like there's been a problem for Petrov. That's good news. The guy who was right behind me. Actually, no, he was in front of me. Yeah, he was in front of me. It's the guy we were battling with when I made the mistake. He's made a mistake as well. So that is definitely a sight for sore eyes. But now we need to try and catch up to Sutil. See what we can do with the other drivers. But unfortunately, I feel like 19th is the best that we can hope for here today. Another yellow flag. Something else has happened into this final corner. Another driver looks like he's spun it. 3 drivers ahead of us. Looks like he's still carrying on. He's not really got any problems, but he's going side by side with somebody through turn 1. This is the part of track which I actually really struggle with. But I feel like here we are on the final lap. I feel like we are only going to be able to get 19th. 19th is probably the best that we can hope for here today. I'll try and push and see what we can do against Adrian Sutil, but yeah, I feel like 19th is the best that we can do. As Sutil's now getting past this driver, so maybe he has a problem. Maybe we have a chance to try and get something else in this race. It's a back mark. I believe it's one of the Lotus cars. Yes, it is. It's Heikki Kovalainen. What can we do on Heikki? Can we get him in towards these final couple of corners? Probably not, as we've lost it on the grass. Brilliant. Okay. Right, come on, Heikki. We can get you. Come on. Nearly there. Nearly there. Last couple of corners. Let's do this. Sebastian Vettel wins today's race. I get it caught on the grass once again. Come on, please keep on the track. I do. Up the inside of Heikki. Big old dive bomb. And we've squeezed him out. We've got the position. Job done. Yes, there we go. Job done on Heikki Kovalainen. We've moved up into P18. A little bit of a consolation prize, seeing as we were running in the top 10 before the pit stop phase. I'm not too sure what on earth has happened in this race. Usually when we go for primes and options, we get the pit stop, we get the job done. But it seemed like everybody was faster on the fresher set of tyres. And it wasn't like a usual case. But we come through the final corner now, down towards the line. Put us out of our misery and cross the line for a very disappointing 18th place at our home Grand Prix.
A slightly disappointing result, but at least we got to the end. Well done.
I just love Jeff. I absolutely love Jeff. He always knows how to think of the positives. At least we got it to the end. Okay, yeah, at least we got it to the end. But still, we qualified way up the field in 11th place. And I just don't know what happened. I guess maybe the people who pitted first on the option tyres were better because they got a huge old gap to me. Felipe Massa, for example, there was about a 10-second gap before he came to the pit stop or before he made his mistake. So maybe it would have been better in today's race to start on the option tyres, but you know, we didn't know that going into today's race, so we got what, you know, the best result that we could have done. But Sebastian Vettel was today's race winner. Lewis Hamilton finishes in second with Mark Webber in third. Then it's Fernando Alonso fourth, Jenson Button fifth, Robert Kubica sixth, Michael Schumacher in seventh, Finn Antonio Liuzzi in 8th, Kobayashi in 9th, and Rubens Barrichello getting the final point in the Williams. Looking further down the field, Massa and Rosberg didn't score any points, neither did myself or Vitaly Petrov, the sort of guys that we are fighting with at the moment. But let's see how this changes in the driver's standings. We've dropped down one position into 8th as Jenson Button scored 10 more points than us here today. That puts him on to 67. But Finn Antonio Liuzzi is still 13 points away from us. He is the guy that we are trying to catch up to. We need to try and get that 6th place if we want to drive for Williams next season. So 8th place at the moment is pretty decent. We've got a 9-point lead over Vin Antonio Liuzzi, which is pretty good as well. And looking at the constructors standings, we are in 6th place, still behind Renault, 1 point ahead of Force India. So we need to try and see whether we can stay ahead of Force India come the end of the season. But that's it for the British Grand Prix. It's a disappointing race today, but let's head back to the menus. Wow, it's halfway through the season and we've already got an offer from Virgin Racing for a lot more money than we had this year, which, you know, is tempting to take, but, you know, we're not racing on F1 2010 next season, so we're not going to accept, we're not going to decline, we're just going to leave that for now and see what other offers we can get in the future as this career mode goes on. Standings as we end today's episode, we are on 57 points. Jenson Button just ahead of us, 10 points ahead of us in 7th, but the man that we need to focus on is Vitaly Petrov, 70 points at the moment, 13 points clear, and in P6, we need that P6 if we want to drive for Williams in F1 2011. But that's it for today's British Grand Prix. Next time we head over to Germany for the German Grand Prix in Hockenheim, and hopefully we can sort of make up for the disappointment of today. But if you have enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, share the video with your friends, and I will see you next time at the German Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.